Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off here to a 1v1 own. You guessed it, it is Faymonville Approach in the north. It is Angreifen, flying here for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with Jaeger Infantry, Encirclement, and Mechanized. Forming up here with the 5th Panzer Division in the south, it is a login, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin, and the 7th Guards Mechanized Corps here with armored assault tactics featuring the T-3485, a radio intercept, vehicle crew repair training, the IS-2 heavy tank, and R2 doing attacks. Ready to smash through the lines here and push onwards towards Berlin. As always, a big hearty thank to my Patreon supporters who keep the Propagandacast possible. It's a big thanks to all of those. As always, other people can follow in the heroic example by pledging on Patreon and supporting the worth of it. Links are in the video description. Concentrating forwards here as Logan secure the center against any German incursions, plus of course deny the building here to any potential German MG42 teams, since obviously in the early game this could pose a problem for Login. That said, the Angreifen is not making that move, so not really concerned. They're also up north, engagement forward, grabbing points, so more pressure in the south through from Login, obviously trying to figure out the best way to sort of tackle Angreifen, and also I imagine he's also crucially trying to figure out where the MG42 is, since obviously runs into that, that's going to be immediate retreat from those conscripts, so the MG42 I imagine is sort of keeping a bit on edge, that of course the MG42 is only now being hauled to the front line here, so Angreifen realizes he may in fact need it there. 3rd Conscript Squad here for Login, and the Red Army Pioneer closing in with the MP40s against the conscripts here. Engineers firing away there. North here point being grabbed by the engineers. And he's moving up northwards here. At this point, I think he's mostly doing it to deny the building to his opponent. Obviously, in the case like he rushes an MG42, but at the same time, it's just not a great building for conscripts to fight in. Like, they just, like, with only one man able to fight the window, it's just such low DPS. It's typically not worth it. You want something with higher DPS or, you know, suppressor fire to fire out of one of these windows. Gunny's taking a loss in there. Got MG42 opening up here, catching one of Locken's conscripts, then quickly forcing him to retreat here. Exactly the same area that I imagine Locken was so concerned about. Angreifen following up the 3rd Grenadier Squad here. There you go. 4th conscript up there for Login and the Red Army. Typical actual Grenadier squad is actually closer, depending on the period of the war, and of course actual strength, roughly somewhere between 8 to 10 men, with one light machine gun attached to them, and typically the squad would have an MP40 or a Sturmgewehr, and typically the second, in command of the squad would, be equipped with like, G43, typically acting also as a bit as a marksman occasionally. So, little fun fact. The rest were typically equipped with Kar-9 TKs, maybe have a rifle grenade launcher as well. Finish the conscripts here. Gunnies need to fall back a bit here. Conscript falls there for Login. Falling a bit back here. North engineers making about flamethrowers on the way there. Got the northern point in the south here holding up here. Machining give every positioning to deal with any potential push here through the southern road. No commander yet for Angreifen. Would be interesting to see him use Encirclement. I don't actually think I've seen Angreifen use that one before, so that would be interesting there. Moving up north here, actually exploring the fact that Angreifen trying to focus heavily on the center. He could theoretically get outmaneuvered here by the conscripts. That squad there, meanwhile, though, is actually in a pretty bad spot. It is forced to retreat here by Angreifen. Locken's conscript up here by the MG42. Further up north here, I think he's going to try and go for the car point here. There's some pioneers forgotten a bit there. We got tech on the way left, Angreifen and the German army. And no commander yet. Could also, of course, be Jaeger Infantry. And Mechanized is also possible, like a 250 half-tech rush, for example, versus Login. Could prove to be a bit of a headache for him. So far, no sign of that. We got a 2nd Engineer Squad here to back him up. There we go, going for the car point, and even laying down mines here. A devious play there by Login. Quite efficient, of course, so thumbs up to him there. Very nice use of the terrain here and the map's layout to outmaneuver his opponent. You might get Gunny's finding out the retreating conscripts. Mines down there. Support company up there for Login. Machine gun repositioning here. And there we go. Like to make a nice company for Angreifen. Guessing a 2-2 here. Pretty much standard Wehrmacht metagame. Pick up. Engineers going for that point here. Yeah, Angreifen's map control here is a bit of a patch check at the moment. There's sort of a mild connection for the center victory point, but of course if Logan grabs that, alongside this being cut off, that's going to definitely put a bit of pressure then on Angreifen's economy. A prolonged period of time, though he of course is now basically going back that car point. Actually, he had minesweepers out there, but apparently wasn't paying attention, so that's going to be standing around. Is this safe to stand on? Yeah, don't vary. The Russians don't know how to make mines, does he? Ludwig? Actually, scheiße. Actually, I was about to say, oh, well. S-Mines here, though. Sneaky there by Angreifen. Thumbs up to him. He's one of those few players I know that consistently, if he plays Wehrmacht, will actually lay down S-Mines here. So, always nice to see that here from Angreifen. S-Mine or Sprengmine. In fact, they also call the Schützenmine the S-Mines as well. There's that can be confusion, but there you go. S-Mines there. Wiping out the news. Unfortunately for Angreifen, this backfires on him and his MG42 gets wiped here. There we go. We got the armor cover, got rifle grenades, going to firing at it, so he may just... No! And there we go. Lock-in merges the counter squad with the MG42. Oh boy, what a dramatic matter of seconds there. Yeah, as about to say, again, S-Mines retreat path can be quite nasty there, as it sort of avoids a lot of the typical, like, bonuses units have on retreating by just having a lot of small explosives there. But in this case, of course, he forgot about the machine gun being right near it, so it backfired on him. And then Logan actually merged the contact door there with the MG42 to make sure that Angreifen couldn't wipe it there. That was... Whew. Anyways, T-Sun there for Logan and the Red Army. MG42 they're being reinforced up here for Logan and the Red Army. Armored car charging in, their contract just retreating. Lacking any anti-tank grenades. He is not going to tangle here with the 2-2, the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 222. Continuing southwards here, engaging the engineers there. Up north is Pioneer with the engineers from the minesweeping forts. Oh, actually, pioneers from minesweepers. Decent almost done there for login. MG42 sitting up against the 2-2. Flying away at the frontal armor, grabbing the northern fuel point here. Sandbags down. Got a new MG42 out here for Angreifen. Quick replace one lost. No commander yet of Angreifen. And there we go. T-70 out here for login. And Angreifen, of course, having just spent resources on the MG42, is going to be a bit short there. And behind, crucially, on the Pack 40. I mean, he can still go for it, but he's certainly not quite there as fast as he'd like to. Toss in again the resource disparity due to the good push around the fuel pump, the overall resource mess there. And Angreifen, definitely a bit behind now in terms of resources against his opponent. He's going to need a Pack 40 versus the T-70, or he's going to need to get really lucky with his armored car and maybe a telemine. Meanwhile, on the south here, fresh push there by Login, exploiting again the overall messy situation here for Angreifen and the 5th Panzer Division. T-70, and we got the Soviet MG42 being hauled forward to the front line. So far, Login just enjoying his advantage here quite nicely versus his opponent. Mining here to cover the late down by Angreifen. Thumbs up to that. MG4 sitting up here in the center building. Now it's his turn to have an MG42 there. Actually, is him going to get it there in the first place. Reinforcing healing here. Pack 40 almost then there for Angreifen and the 5th Panzer Division. And we got Login, or Angreifen here with a mortar as well. The Granatenwerfer. 34. Not confused for the Granatenwerfer 43, which was basically the German designation for the Third Heavy Mortar when they started making it. There you go, first mortar out here for Angreifen. Down the southern point here, it's field gun there for Login to deal with the 2-2, and of course, any potential armor that Angreifen, may eventually get. Machine in the center there getting absolutely pummeled here. Login might have stuck around for too long there, but no. Does haul his MG42 there, his purloined goods, back to the front, or base. North here, pumping grab at the conscripts, field guns there, halfway done. And so far, Login just continuing to, exert excellent map control versus Angreifen. Again, getting that MG42 like he did there has proven to be, well, a big success. There you go, Sysgun out there for Login. Will certainly only make things tough here for Angreifen. Still no commander for him. Got the Granatenwerfer joining in against the Soviets here. Thumbs up to that. Mortar fire there gets a quick kill on the conscripts. I was about to say kick quill. That's completely different. How do you know what that means? So, Grenadier had here versus the Soviets. Chinese flanking up against the Contra-T. Backed up by some grenadiers. Worth noting, Angreifen's been under such pressure. He actually has been able to like get munitions together for like MD-42s for his grenadiers here. Mortar there about to be assailed. He needs to fall back, but that would be quite the headache for Angreifen. He were to lose the mortar on top of the MD-42 to log in. I mean, he's already got like enough problems with the map control being as horrid as it is here. Losing a mortar to his opponent would certainly not aid things even remotely. But still no command here for Angreifen. And in a surprise twist, he actually goes for a second mortar. This is very rare nowadays. I mean, there used to be a time when like Valorant players would go for 2 mortars easily. I mean, most players would, because mortars were just really good on auto fire back then. So like, you know, they just get 2 and they can just shut down a lot of stuff. But after, of course, they made all the change, they should have to like barrage a lot. But your mortars, most players, unless they're Soviets going for heavy mortars, typically just don't bother with that. Most of the time, anyways. Obviously, Soviet players will not even then always bother with 2 heavy mortars. Typically, 1 is enough, but you know, to see anyone that go for, say, like 2 medium mortars like Angreifen is very rare. So that's an interesting choice here. I don't think it's bad, though, but it is very rare. I mean, in this case, you've got 2 mortars bombarding the same point here, looking to blast it out of existence. And of course, I mean, still, 2 mortars with, like, you know, even a weak auto fire could still, like, pose a problem for the opponent. But still, it is, nonetheless, very, very rare. So quite exciting to see here. And thumbs up to Angreifen on that count. There we go, almost got the MD-42 ready here with the double mortars. And you're going to see their login is quickly forced to withdraw the MD-42, realizing that if he sticks around for, like, even a few seconds longer, the 2 mortars could easily wipe it out there. Particularly since it was down to like a sliver of health there, the Constable practically just, you know, forced to hold in their own internal organs. And there you go, 2 mortars again, almost takes out the entire Constable. There might have also been a rifle grenade there assisting on the match. No, there wasn't. I mean, double mortars here, quickly paying off Angreifen. I mean, not necessarily any wipes right away, but it's definitely leaving an impact here on a lot of Logan's infantry. It just almost wiped out. Field gun there, going in hard there for the Motherland. Armor covers the front of it. Up north here, we got the Pioneer poking forwards. I mean, then we do get a command here for Angreifen. It is mechanized with the command tank, the 250-1 half-track. I don't think we've seen that one, unfortunately. We got vehicle critical repair, we got the spotting scope, and we got the lighter Feldhaubitze at sea. We got here mechanized armor company for login. Typically, each German grenadier company would have a couple of mortars like this supporting it. Fun fact. They would typically also then be spread out a bit to sort of support various platoons. And I guess also just to ensure they didn't present like a really big target for enemy artillery. So, little fun fact there. Before being pushed back here by this Sis-3. And he's being forced against the MD-42. Of course, you got the German mortars going straight at it. Immediately getting 2 kills. Getting a parameter health in. Down. And we can always see there, once more Logan is forced to draw the MD-42 in the face of the double Granatenwerfer. The little mortar battery here that Angreifen's got going. South here, T-Sim crew forwards against the Grenadiers here. Mortar firing down death here from above. 2 kills. 6 kills, very close to FT2 there. Decent out the conscripts. And nothing massive because he just got taked up. We got the 7-man upgrades on the way there. But certainly adds pressure as Angreifen's only, you know, unupgraded grenadiers here. Of course, the mortars, you know, may help to, like, shall say, even out that bit, you know. Doesn't matter if there's 7 men, you know, that's just more targets for the mortars. 6 kills, 5 kills. I mean, they're starting to, like, you know, add up those kills against Logan. And again, they're making it a bit harder for Logan to, like, you know, stick in around any point for too long. So he's going to have to, like, consider some artillery himself in the near future to help counter these mortars. And of course, by that extension, Angreifen may eventually want to at least spread out the mortars a bit so they don't become too easy a target for, say, Katyusha or possibly a Soviet mortar. At least, thankfully, he doesn't have to worry about heavy mortars. Still, we got 291 versus 479. Logan so far endures a strong lead of his opponent there. He's in there fixed up, and the south get the armor covers the conscripts here. A few well-placed autocannon shots. Zapolmak up there for Angreifen, been able to catch up with his opponent. Log in there does go for the Katyusha, and I do imagine it partly it's in response to these double mortars, like just the artillery pressure, and Login is, I imagine, causing him to like want something to hit back at his opponent's artillery. Really is a good highlight of, you know, what mortars can do well handled. I certainly wouldn't necessarily always recommend going for 2 mortars, but it's certainly an argument at least occasionally consider like double mortars. Not just Soviet double heavy mortars. Katyusha there, 2/3 of the way down there for Login. That's I'm not entirely would recommend going for the Katyusha first instead of say some tanks, but I can certainly understand the thought process, partly getting the map, but also I imagine partly just the heavy mortars, other regular mortars. Did get the 2-2 then knocked out. Machine gun being hammered. Commanding away the Angreifen. Also, here's a fun fact about the German 8cm mortar at the start of the war, and up to, I think, by the time they started actually using the Soviet heavy mortar, they actually considered the 8cm mortar a heavy mortar. Fun fact there. That's technically despite having heavy mortars like the 10cm Nebelwerfer mortar. Anyways, there you go though. We can see there, mortars being hammered up by Katyushas. Login clearly had enough there of German mortar supremacy and wished to silence it quite aggressively. Wiping out one of the mortar crews there, thumbs up. Oh, the mortar 2 team that mixed out. Then crucial, that was the more veteran mortar crew, so that's obviously the better outcome there for Angreifen out of the 2. One had to get wiped, and the South team grabbed the point. Make good use of the secure mode. Thumbs up to Login. Of course, Login should, of course, try and grab the mortar back. Angreifen should. And, of course, if Login can get his hands on the mortar, that would also benefit him for Fairmont. In the center of the Grenadiers was the machine gun, the conscripts. We do also see some upgrades for Angreifen's Grenadiers finally. South here, T-City pushed back by the Befehls Panzerkampfwagen 4. Likely based off the Panther 4 F1, which is the last model of Panther 4, still equipped with a low velocity center-forming cannon. The F2 was actually equipped with a higher velocity. They're not quite as the later Panther 4 models, they're sort of more intermediary. And Grenadiers was the field guns there, machine being bombarded here, mortars back in action. He did crude up, and also this time he has spread them out. Thumbs up there to Angreifen. Again, makes it a bit harder here for Login to just silence him with a single Katyusha barrage, which is, you know, the ideal there. And of course, means Login's infantry is back in the danger zone. Contracting Grenadiers here, being ripped apart here. We got 10 kills, 1 kill on the other one here. Contra there again, need to be careful here. Ace level MU42 there for Login, very good work there. We'll have to see what Login goes for next. T-3035, or will he actually try and hold out for an IS-2? Command tank rolling in there, almost got the film here wiped already. There we go. That's a big problem for Login. Of course, he does have a country squad nearby to quick recruit, so that's our problem here, though, of course. The mortars nearby makes it difficult for Login just keep the field gun in a position for too long at the moment. There you go, Katyusha badge again here on the mortar. Login again really has had enough of those goddamn German mortars. This time, though, Katyusha barrage should have effective, of course, part because the mortars were not quite as bunched up. Pack forward number 2 for Angreifen, the Panzerabwehrkanone 40. How will Login respond to that? What is his next move? Meanwhile, Angreifen just grabbing points here, and he's also crucially focused on all the victory points to help slow down the bleeding. He's down to 208. He's now time to bring his opponent, of course, down to his level. He's fairly smart there by Angreifen. It's usually the 6 hills, South H1, season going to DSC. Center, we got again those double mortars added. Moving up close to the front line here. Bold play here, and there you go. Conscripts being pounded here with the mortar. There you go. Ace level the other mortar crew here. And Login responds by sending in the Soviet Army aviation here to push back the Germans here. Mortar crews, grenadiers, machine crews all being caught here in a storm of cannon fire from above here, causing quite a bit of pain and consternation here for Angreifen. We see all the support weapons just falling back in the face of this onslaught from above. Artillery position in the south here, we've got coming up, laying down sandbags rapidly. Could of course also do it here, though obviously against the double mortars, there's going to be limits to how much the sandbags can do for login. Katyusha's already farming. Theoretically, with that kind of retreat here, you could try and move up the Katyusha and bombard into the base. I mean, that'd be sort of one of those few times, like, hammering into the base there is, like, you know, actually like a pretty decent move, if you can time it correctly. But at this point, of course, he's already abandoning the base, so if he were to do that now, it would likely be a bit more waste of resource rockets. A waste of time by extension. But there you go, mortars right back at it. 5 and 14 kills for a total of 19. She's fine. They've done this. Oh, bunch up. There you go. That's a full wipe here. Light machine gun drop as well. The signal squad will probably try and grab it, I guess, but they're risking what? No, they do just retreat here. Brutal strike here from Login. 10 kills in the Katyusha, opening up for the creeping barrage, which, if used correctly, could really leave Angreifen floored here. Quick to replace the Grenadiers lost with more Grenadiers. Now Panzer Grenadier here for Mr. Angreifen of the 5th Panzer Division. 4th Panzer Grenadier Company. More conquests here for Login. These are Mr. landed here, closing on the east level there. And a regular Panther of Angreifen, the Panzerkampfwagen 4. 208 is the 446. Mortars keeping at it there for the fatherland. Ooh, going out again versus that MU-42 team. Waltzman being very close to wiping it out here. Northern Point East by the Engineers. You actually cancel that 3rd Grenadier squad here to go for the Panther first. I mean, I understand the priority. I understand that one. More sandbags here close to the center. They're obviously not right at it, so it becomes a bit harder here for Angreifen. Just predicted hammer. Let you 2 and veteran flee. There you go. Fresh Panther for their Angreifen and the 5th Panzer Division. See something back here close to the east one. The south here controlling up here across several points. Ooh, that's a bit awkward there. Seems to be working out there for Login. Got the mortars bunched up again though. Seems like Angreifen either doesn't care or forgot what happened last time he left the Katyusha so close to each other. There you go. Regular barrage here. On the center again. I mean, had he gone for creeping barrage here, I think I've closed the right angle. That could leave Angreifen in a really uncomfortable position. Panther 4 getting good take good hit from the field gun. There you go. Anti-tank race while leaving Angreifen Panther 4 with the damaged engine a bit extended. On the other hand, the field gun itself is also in a pretty bad position against those. There you go. Quick merge from Login there on the field gun. Realizing he loses that gun now, he's going to be really hurting here versus those tanks. And even then, even with those merges, the tanks are just pummeling away at the field gun crew here until you get enough distance between it and the tanks here. T-7's taking a few hits here as well there, and there we go. The tanks nonetheless escape here. And I do think here Login is actually going for the I mean, there's not really much else at this point you can get for that costs that much fuel and manpower. Others could easily gone for T-34, so HE-5s by now. So I do think he is going to go here for the IS-2 heavy tank. Look to unleash something big, armored, and mean here versus Angreifen. Need to fix up the T-74. Got the crew working a bit hard there to do the work themselves. Katyusha's almost ready to fire again. He's actually moved like pretty much everything up pretty close, including the mortars. I'm guessing the plan for Angreifen is to basically just start bombarding his opponent's base with the mortars. I mean, that's aggression I can get behind. They're obviously a bit risky, and I think he's sort of more smartly spacing out the mortars. Of course, theoretically, if you know Login lines up a good creeping barrage, you can still get them with just one barrage there. We'll see. One more to the team exposed, already forced back here, going at it. More gunners out there for Angreifen now. IS-2 right around the corner, but it has been delayed due to some heavy reinforcement. There you go. CoH2 barrage again. No creeping barrages in lock-in. One pack crew wiped out. Second one narrowly survives. East mortar crew, they're still at the front line, and the regular Panther 4 is ripping through lock-in's front of XC. Command taking a bit further back here. South here, T-70 does push off some grenadiers here. We got 175 to 327. Match continues to be in decent some regard, still led here by Login. But the gap has been closed quite efficient by Angreifen. Again, I think part of the answer is just, you know, those two mortars. Those two mortars. They have really made hell of an impact there on Login so far. Thumbs up to that. Panther shoots, decent in the M42. Nice shot there. Up here, troops reinforcing healing. Command tank dashing in. 22 kills, 1/3 of the way there towards, well, quarter of the way, maybe 1/5 of the way towards Destiny 2. Email log in there, closing on that IS-2 heavy tank. Yosef Stalin too. Will he be able to use it as he charges his way towards victory? Will it end up being a large investment that goes nowhere? Find out. Oh, wait, IS-2 here, they're arriving. Up with a 122mm gun. Charging forwards. Command tank's going to be the first victim. The IS-2 in there and go easily punches through the frontal arm of that one. Northern point sees, but they're going to DEC. Further northern point grab the conscripts. 175 to 303. Those two rolling ahead. We can see their Angreifen repositioning steadily. The usual barrage there firing around the center. There we go. Good in the pack. Wipes one of the mortars of that. But he's really like getting pretty close to the login space with those mortars. So will Login grab the mortar? Will Angreifen destroy it? Will Login destroy it? Or what's going to happen here? Looks like Angreifen is intending getting that mortar back in action. Also worth noting, that was his ace little mortar. That does hurt a bit more here for Angreifen this time around, though his other mortar is pretty close to Destiny 3. He's still back to double mortars here versus Login. Thumbs up to that. CoH2, they're very close to 82, the 20 kills. IS-2, they're getting slammed at, but most of the shots, they'll bounce harmlessly off the IS-2's frontal armor here. North here, T-Simmons, they're going to do here, trying to grab the northern fuel point in 9 here to log in. Field gun at the ready, command tank move towards the center. And considering we're not seeing a pin-up machine, I do imagine he's going to go here for the R2 Sturmovie attacks in the near future. Needs to get that fuel point back. Got the mortars back in action. He's just bombarding around here at the center. That machine gun immediately under fire from the Granada Werfers. And then again, once we see the damage pile out and the casualties as well there. Almost wiped it again. Airstrike called in here by Login against the pack. The machine gun, I suppose, also the nearby mortars. That seven line of sight is going to have limited impact long term. There you go. Mortar east level. Pack there taking a lot of damage. Mortar crews being hammered as well here. Bit of chaos, bit of consternation. Lock in there. Looks like 6 spot here, pushing in the IS-2. Meanwhile, Angreifen, the 5th Panzer Division, withdrawing here from the center for now at least. The R2 Sturmovix, of course, providing a pretty good argument for not staying around for too long. North here, Panther 4 command tank engaging the conscripts as they try to grab northern fuel point, but they do get it and then fall back just to avoid wasting further manpower. But yeah, not really doing much else with the R2 Sturmovix. There's an argument here, might have called in too quickly, you know, fall up too slowly on, I don't know. Hard to say again, and then if this was really worth 180 munitions, I mean, he's able to grab the center. And of course, Angreifen was forced to withdraw, so maybe it was. But again, maybe he could also have done more damage under the other circumstances, which of course would have been more valuable as well. Center fire, again, we got the mortars raining down death. 13 and 4. I still getting hit by the 2-pack. 4 just could fire off here, and there you go. Creeping barrage this time around, and again, much more lethal. One mortar wiped and utterly destroyed. Almost got the other one here too. And he's going to also be caught in the retreat here by it. There we go, almost wiped out as well. 27 kills, 22. Very nice creeping barrage here. Unless, of course, you're on the receiving end, in which case, of course, you're probably using our words I would be, prohibited from using on YouTube. Country there, grab to the center though still. See something back here. Here's the conscripts. Panther 4 there. 1/3 of the way. MD42 tearing in against these in the center. Yeah, getting round one. The mortars still like pretty big there for Login, and actually a bit of a hurt there for Angreifen. I doubt Angreifen's going to replace the mortar though. But I think that would be pretty solid nonetheless. He's going for the Panther core. Might be probably a Panther though. Angreifen does like his Panthers. No mistake. So you can go for one now. You still got the Ace Mortar they added here versus Login and the Red Army. No Panther though. In fact, nothing really there from Angreifen's but having amber resources for pretty much anything. There we go, eyes two on the move again here. For Login and the Red Army, the 7th Guards Mechanized Corps. Similar to German heavy tank units, the Schwere Panzerabteilung, a heavy tank detachment. The IS-2s would also put their heavy armor into special, units to be attached when needed. They're called heavy tank regiments, if I remember correctly. They were not part of Ganiglib either. Panther for the flanking, the IS-2, that is this command tank. IS-2 shoots back, gets a good hit in there. Katyusha 5 going off here. Didn't quite make an impact this round, not quite a massive splash, so still getting some pack gunners killed, but I imagine crucially not really wrecking the pack crews or even the enemy foe nearby. If you could have gotten that, that could have been quite debilitating for Angreifen. Meanwhile, has his Panther almost there. Login does need his IS-2 fixed up. He may in fact benefit from one Guineas to expedite the repairs on his armor. Panther remaining reserve, so on the victory being grabbed here. We got 149 to 264. Login still remains in the lead here over Angreifen, but it is a lead that is slowly vanishing here. There you go. Panther right around the corner here for Angreifen and the German army. The Panzerkampfwagen 5 Ausführung A. Got still that one mortar at it. 15 kills. 16 kills there, in fact. I think it's safe to say these mortars have paid off quite beautifully. Panther charging it straight through the hedges, the trees and everything else. Countless squirrels crashed beneath the sheer weight of the Panther. The south here, going for the southern fuel point here, where once Angreifen trying to open up fuel supplies, the lines there. Katyusha Barrage added again, hoping to snuff out some of these support weapons here. Almost got the mortar and the enemy fortress at the same time there. Gumby fortress crew wiped out, and the Ace Mortar crew narrowly survived by the looks of it. Oh, does it go down? No, it does survive. 34 kills, near ace level on that Katyusha. I mean, that Katyusha's really done some great work. But there you go, Panther going for the kill here, and takes out the Katyusha, gaining Veteran in the process. Quite a blow here for Login. Quite the blow, meaning Angreifen's back to enjoying artillery superiority, even if that is just basically one mortar. But what a mortar it is! So, things definitely got a lot tougher here for Login. He's got no artillery, he's got only one field gun, his opponent's got several tanks, several anti-tank guns, and the artillery, plus of course a fair amount of infantry. So things are definitely looking a bit tough here for Login. I think there needs to be a shift in tactics and strategy for him to really have a chance here versus Angreifen under the current circumstances. It's definitely not impossible. I mean, they still have some force parity, but in terms of, like, overall force composition, Angreifen's one, I think, is overall a bit more broader, and that's, a bit healthier compared to Login's. So again, without the Katyusha is lacking in artillery quite significantly. Goodness is ended being hammered here with aim for 2 ace level down that one. 7 kills, 9 now appears around here. That could arguably be one of those out there from him. But again, he's insisting, I imagine, setting up munitions for the L2 attacks. Panther up north, they could get knocked out here by Login. Panther forming into assist. Well, command tank, so that's a bit more limited. Pack force moving up, there you go. Mark target here. got the Panther, but there's a good chance he loses the IS-2, and there you go, the IS-2 does go down in a massive shower of sparks, explosions, and screams. Quite the blow that's Login, who's now just left with a single light tank against a Panther 4 and a command tank. Never mind the mortar and everything else. He's now going for the T-45 fight, but the odds for Login just got a lot worse. And the situation certainly a lot tougher to salvage after losing the IS-2 like that. Certainly not quite worth trading it off for a Panther, that's for sure. It was not a worthy trade at all. If anything, quite the opposite, and Basil agrees. Then we got more Panther force there for Angreifen. Another MG-42. Lost another one to the Soviets. Though, slightly, sadly, no additional mortars. Despite I think, you know, I would argue done a really good work here versus Angreifen, or Login. And arguably, if Login had gone for some mortars, they probably also gone for good work from the actually countered the T-45, then went for it again. Does have the L2 streamings, and the T-70 here is command tanks rushing in quite recklessly. It's taking a lot of needless damage. We've got another bit of support here unleashed versus Angreifen. 130% on 82, but still it's not looking great for Login. There you go, T-70's down here. Fieldgun's about to get knocked out as well here. Panther 4 there, number 2 almost ready as well here. The first Panther 4, there you go, gains the ace level. A-74 crew is also about to get exterminated here. He is recruiting the Fieldgun faster than I think the Panther 4 can clear out the crew, which is great news for Login. I mean, it's like, you know, manpower spiral there of death, and the Panther 4 just keeps missing here. There you go, in the end, I do believe Login just concedes here. I mean, he's pretty much just stuck in a death spiral. He's not really going anywhere. His opponent's like, you know, parked inside of his base, and it's just annihilating his stuff, and even with the T-45 out, even he gets rid of the Panther 4. Like, the problem is, like, Angreifen just too much support for the rest of his forces here. And again, he does have the mortars. There you go, GG, game over. I'd say Angreifen, they definitely had a rough time, but the mortars there proved to be a crucial element of turning the game around here. The humble Gunnar in the effort was here, I think, a key player in, you know, Angreifen's victory over Login. Login also tactically at times, I think, struggled a bit here and there. The IS-2 store was also perhaps a bit risky. And arguably, I think he also would have benefited from, like, maybe some mortars of his own to help support the Katyusha in terms of artillery. I think that could have maybe helped level things out a bit more versus Angreifen. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating to support the Propagandacaster and disclose worth it. Or pre-ordering comment is free. Well, link in the comments. Use the CoH2 3D there. This is Imperial signing off, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye.